Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Samuli Kyttälä, Chief Business Officer at Prohoc. And the subject today is this requirement service that Prohoc is providing together with Taipuva. Yes, couple of words about the Prohoc as a company. Prohoc is the project partner for industrial investors and operators, project contractors and technology providers. Our project services includes project management, project planning and control, construction management, and then this project information and data management, which is the topic today. A couple of words about the introduction and the background. So typically the large capital projects today are very complex. The client's aim is to minimize the number of contractual parties, which leads to wide scope of delivery, and the project scopes are multidisciplinary. Typically the aim is also the risk transfer to supplier. And a lot of different stakeholders, meaning several vendors within the scope of delivery. This leads to change management challenges due to the several parties and vendors during the bidding phase, during the project execution phase. Projects are demanding from the technology and technical point of view. There is a project specific requirements, industrial specific requirements, and of course, due to this all, increasing need for subject matter experts. There is a need to maintain traceability of information during the sales process, bid preparation, negotiation and pricing, and to hand over to delivery. Means that the contract management must be very well organized. And there is a need and the requirements related to confidentiality and the IPRs. Is the invitation to tender causing a headache? I think this is quite typical what happens today. There is a lot of critical information to be reviewed and analyzed in a short and limited time. Tight deadlines to bid submission might lead to rushed work and missing out requirements having a remarkable impact to the business case. The ITT context and the content is demanding, requesting special internal and external expertise, which is typically critical, and also the availability might be a challenge. And the contractor standard solution or product might not meet the set requirements. And the possibilities to be prepared are limited. Sales cannot plan the resourcing according to the ITT's time frame, and the contractor's key experts availability might be a challenge. And the tender form itself might be a customer specific. Maybe there is no harmonized way of reviewing and commenting. Unorganized requirement management might cause reactive way of working. The tendering and the requirement management process is led by sales manager. The tendering documents might be managed and handled traditionally with the separate Excels, PDF commenting, track changes, emails, etc. And everything is somewhere in a workspaces. Each project might be handled differently, depending on the sales lead or the sales manager, maybe depending on the discipline or the business line, which is in subject. And the requirement management without a systematic way of working and process might cause additional manual work, rushed work, missing out the critical technical or commercial requirements. Increased business risks, incomplete handover from sales to delivery, additional changes during the project delivery, and in the final end, the ultimate risk is the wrong pricing due to the additional risk provision, and it might cause missed business. And then why this requirements management is important. The proper requirement management leads to improved business performance. ITT and bid preparation process shall be efficient, fully managed and controlled during contractor to consider all requirements set. It must be, or it can be, digitalized and centralized working platform that provides contractor-specific organized process to consider clients' requirements and their impacts to scope, cost, and time in bidding phase, ensuring to prepare the winning bid with mitigated or controlled risks. It is minimizing contractors' critical resources time for the review and analyze the tender documentation. And then these requirements as a service that Prohoc provides together with Taipuva. Typically, the service includes digitalization and document management, the requirements management itself, requirements engineering, including this subject matter expert services, system management and hosting, solution, and also it can include the sales process development and training. Requirements management as a service provides you dedicated professional to manage the requirements management platform, and all your and the client's business critical resources and competencies can and will be fully focusing on the core knowledge ensuring the winning bid and proposal. Then the simplified workflow. First, there will be the invitation to tender which arrives. Maybe the sales manager feels that there is too much work and all critical resources are busy. And then this Prohoc and Taipuva service will support the sales manager, digitize the ITT material, manage the requirements management and commenting, reviewing and analyzing it. And in the end, the sales manager will receive this winning bid. And additionally, all these experts are available on requests. The customer benefits. This service will improve the business performance. The winning proposal means that all the requirements are considered in time, cost, scope, safety, risk and quality point of view, leading to contract award, which will be then handed over from sales to delivery without any unrecognized or uncontrolled risks and requirements. The service package is complete. The information flow is ensured and managed well, and all this together are leading to continuous improvement. And then the requirements management service, the summary. The Prohoc is jointly with Taipuva offering requirements management service, which is implemented on Polarion system, utilizing specific features on the system. The service can be extended from bidding phase via requirements handover to cover also the requirements management in project execution phase, from the bidding and contract award handover delivery phase via project execution up to the project closing phase, and includes also the warranty time if necessary. And the service is complete package with full flexibility tailored. It might include not only the system, but also the options for work process development, subject matter expert services just according to your expectations. Requirements management service leads to improved business performance. And the final slide, here are the contact information. Myself and my colleague Hannele Blomqvist, the service manager, and it would be great to hear more and evaluate together with you how we could support you best. So please feel free to contact us anytime. Thank you very much. I would like to hand over this to Pasi now and stop.
Hello everybody. Yes, I'm Pasi Ahola, the CEO and founder of Taipuva. Thank you, Gunilla, for a very nice introduction. Thank you, Samuli, for taking us into the topic. And I'll continue with a few pictures about the kind of the big picture of the process and the mentioned Siemens Polarion digital tool, and then I'll do a very practical demonstration also what it really looks like. Where's mine? Yeah. A few words about Taipuva first. So what we do is that we improve ways of working, which means we have a structured systems engineering method. We bring things to life with powerful digital tools, mainly this Polarion from Siemens, and we are a smart expert partner for that platform in the Nordic countries. And here you see some of the customers that we have, and we mainly operate in, like I said, in the Nordic region and the Baltics. So as Samuli said, that we specialize in all aspects of requirements management. Sorry, I have a problem with the Teams now that is blocking some of the. Okay, now I got rid of it. So yeah. So this session will focus in a very specific case that actually has a major impact on many businesses. And you see some graphic here how it goes. So we have a sort of a requirements flow from of the requirements from customer to project contractor and etc. to even sub-suppliers, subcontractors. And today's focus is here. So we will play to be in this role in the demo and in the process that we represent to you, which also covers the collaboration with the customer. And it's good to realize that this is only one fraction of the what you can or what you need requirements for. Requirements are really the core of an entire project or product lifecycle, which is highlighted here in a bit more detail, how it goes in the project delivery or some sort of a delivery case, where the requirements are refined further down to sub-suppliers, subcontractors. But that's not only the whole story where you need requirements, because you also need to reflect against the requirements in many phases of the project to see that they are really fulfilled. And they have a strong connection to different other process areas, such as change management. Of course, when you change requirements, you change a lot of things. Project management based on the content of the requirements, what you actually need to deliver, how you manage risk within the different phases of the deliveries and the project itself, including safety and security risks, and then also proper resolution is part of the game. And when coming closer to the demo case that we are going to present today, when invitation tender to arrives, really, as Samuli explained, the business or the goal is to improve business performance. And in our specific case, what we do today, the objective is to kind of go through the tender documents and requirements within very efficiently, fast, in a controlled manner, and compile as an outcome a deviation and clarification list out of that. And what is the needed to be successful? What are the sort of the needed components? First, there needs to be today a digital platform which really enables the certain ways of working. Otherwise, it doesn't work. And on top of that, there needs to be the right kind of process that people know how to work and which really makes the things that really brings things to life on the digital platform. And of course, the most important ingredient are the resources, so the knowledge and the skill of your subject matter experts, and also additionally, in this case, Prohoc experts and the service that enables the whole thing, so that the actual experts don't need to think about the the two above things, the tools or the processes, they just do their job, and they can focus on that, creating a winning proposal, and not to have to think about the technicalities or details in background. So let's look at the two ingredients, process and the digital platform, how our demo flow today will go. So first step is to bring the documentation of the tender into the Polarion system. And this is actually the part that is part of the Prohoc service. So when the actual subject matter experts and sales managers start to work, the documents are already there. And the first thing is to assign the documents and the content to experts for review. And what happens is that basically the usual work, what you do with the tender document, it doesn't change that much. You need to, of course, read through all the documents, but then when you're doing that in the Polarion system, you can mark so-called work items out of the documents at the same time, and store all the notes and comments and all the kind of needed information within those, and they will never leave the document context. So this is quite different from the traditional Excel sheet approach. Then at the same time as all the information is recorded in the system, you'll get to see a real-time status, and everybody can see the kind of where we are really in real time, and participate with comments on the system without having to send tons of emails or keep other bookkeeping on the side. And once the tender documentation has been processed to the point where the customer can be engaged and really to get the deviation clarification list to the customer, it's really done with a simple round trip operation where you can record all the comments from the customer also directly into the system, so you get all the information into the same place. And the discussion can go on for some while, of course, negotiations and refining the requirements and agreeing on those. But in the end, you will have a baseline of the agreed requirements and all the history of remarks and comments and your team's input also for the execution and delivery. So this is kind of the first step of the project delivery, of course. And in our demo, which I'll start just in a minute, we will focus in these areas which are circled here, and I would like to encourage you to focus on the things that are really the enabling ingredients in the Polarion tool, and also the benefits for different roles that work with the content. So without any further ado, let's go and see how Polarion looks like. So I'll just refresh my browser to see that yes, I'm logged in. So this is a fully web-based system where this runs in your favorite browser. Now I'm running Google Chrome browser, and as I landed here in the system, I landed in the same project that was open previously. So it's called Sales Project Webinar here on the left-hand side. And about the user interface really quickly, here on the left-hand side, there's a navigation panel where you can choose different topics to work on. There are some shortcuts here, some functions here, and there on the right-hand side, there's a work area, which now in this case shows the project dashboard on the home page. And now that the first phase has already been completed, now that Prohoc experts have imported the documentation here into the system, we see a list of documents here. Now in this case, we have 4 example documents here in this project. And the project, the documents themselves, they actually are contained here in this documents and pages space under project documents folder, where you can see the same documents here as well. So 4 documents. And let's quickly take a look in one of the documents, so we can access it right here by clicking it. And I open it here to a second tab in my browser. And what you see here is really an ordinary looking document, but it's now here online in your browser in the Polarion system. And it's also good to realize that whenever you might need the original document, it is here also in the attachments, so you can access it, and anybody of the team can access the original document if needed. But here it is basically at your fingertips. So this document is really one of the special ingredients that I mentioned of this Polarion tool. This is called a live doc, which now is a Polarion innovation. And why it is live, I will show just in a bit. But it's also good to know that everything you do here in the system will be recorded into the system as complete history, so you can see all the changes that has been made into the document and all its different versions, and also related meta information there behind the document. So let's go back to the home page and kind of put the hat of the sales manager on my head. And so the first thing that the sales manager needs to do is to distribute the kind of the reading of the documents to different people. And now you see that there are already some assignees here for some documents, but actually let's go back to this document and then assign this document also to someone for reading. So let's open a right-hand panel here called Work Item Properties. Clicking on this heading here, I'll get to see that is not assigned to anyone yet. So I will just assign this to Hannele, like that. Press save here in the system and go back to the home page of the project to see that now we have all the documents assigned to different people. And at the same time, we can also see some nice statistics of the documents here. For example, the number of headings each and every document contains. So we have quite extensive documents here, and so there's a lot of reading to do for these people. And now, if I put the subject matter expert hat on my head and see what is there to do for those people, is that I'm having one of the documents assigned to me. I can also see that if I go to my own personal homepage called My Polarion. So there is Documents Assigned to Me section where I can see the same document here. And there are also other things here which we can look at a bit in a detail later. So the first thing is that I'll now click this document for myself and well, start reading it and making those comments here. And while I opened this document, we also kind of noticed that there is this kind of a special section here right in the beginning. So Previously, I have been working on this document a bit, and I have already marked or taken one so-called work item out of the document. So what is a work item? So if we click that, we see that here on the right-hand side that it has some properties. For example, it has a status, it has the signee, different information, and my job is now to write whatever response text that we want to deliver to the customer as our contractor response, and also to state that if we want to have that as a clarification or deviation. Now this is a clarification that, okay, in this case, we would need a more detailed specification on that, whatever requirement here. And what is a work item? So if we open this individual item here, it opens up in a so-called work item view, which shows all the information that there is in the system or its database for this particular work item. So we see that there's an ID for the work item. It's now this number, prefix and number here, and a title, which is now part of the description. And then there are a lot of data fields here for the work item. And it's worth to understand that basically the system can be configured in many different ways, and all the information that you see here, or basically almost everything, can be customized to specific needs. And now we have created this example process about this tender management, and the fields have been adjusted for that. Now let's go back to the document and see that. Let's pretend that I would be doing my job as the subject matter expert and mark some more noteworthy requirements out of the document. So how does that happen? So let's go and see some interesting sections of the document. For example, here might be something that I want to comment to the customer. So let's press this button here, which is just making this part as customer requirement. So you see that this kind of item forms here. And at the same time, I would like to give some information to the item, saying that as a comment to the customer that our solution is rated with additional 10% only, so we need to deviate from the requirement here. And also I will declare this as a potential risk, so that if customer doesn't agree on this, we'll see that later, what they say about this deviation proposal. So, but if they don't agree, it poses a risk for us that we need to kind of adjust our pricing or the project proposal accordingly. And this is for the discipline. No, we can also mark that. So let's say control instrumentation. So that's about it. Pressing save, which is not necessary at all. Every time you see that now the actual item was formed here and also in the background in the database, and we can continue this work. But at the same time, before leaving this item, I can also declare this item as kind of ready from my analysis, say that now it's ready to be reviewed if we want to, if the sales manager wants to select this to the deviation list. So I just end my analysis phase, putting the status to select to customer. And let's do some more examples here. For example, what would be a good place to Let's see, for example, this one. Actually, we can make a clarification out of that. So it says that it's kind of a vague term that is here in this requirement saying that time to allow the terminal to be shut down. Well, we actually need to know how long exactly is that. So we need a clarification for that. And we can also clear that this is then kind of dealt with. And analysis is complete. And we can also do some more other examples here. So I'm just looking at where to put it. For example, this one. Let's also mark that as a customer requirement and select that we'll actually not show this in our deviation list, but this is something that we want to kind of notify for ourselves that so once I mark this out of here, I will actually open this item. It opens in a separate tab, and then I can create a task that is directly linked to this requirement and say that we need to check this thing with the ESD circuit supplier. I will actually assign this to myself as a reminder. And additionally, I can put a due date on that if I want. For example, let's say that I need to clarify that within a week. And by creating that, we see that this item was also created into the database, and it's a direct link to the requirement there. So we can get rid of this tab now and go on to, for example, this point here in the document. And if this is something that I don't have enough information about, it's also possible that I just declare this as a requirement and then also open that in a separate tab and go there. Okay, I need some advice from a colleague, so that I would ask from in this case from Hannele, for example, I would ask for some support. Like this, and then this would appear in Hannele's list. And we can continue this discussion here within the comments here, and we can kind of avoid emailing about this, or you know, it's a very practical way of attaching the whole discussion into the topic. And yeah, so these are a couple of examples what I did here, and now going back to the homepage of the project, we see that the curves have come up a bit. We had 13 requirements, now we have 17, and also the figures here in the table have changed. So this gives really the kind of real-time statistics, what happens in every document and how many requirements there are in different stages of the process. And at the same time, we see that the deviation list that otherwise would be created in a separate Excel sheet or something, it's automatically having its content here. So this is actually the list that we want to communicate to the customer then at the end of this part of the process. And at the same time, we get to see the things that are marked as risks. And even the tasks are there in the sort of a project plan, if we will. And here I can see all the open tasks that are assigned for me, and I can then plan, for example, say that, okay, I will do this a bit later. It doesn't take that long time. And then I will do that here before its due date. Save the changes, and the plan is saved. So this can be used, of course, like any project plan. It can be used for managing the tender phase, or even the project execution, if you will. And yeah, actually, now that this first thing is here already started, I can also mark that as, it's in progress. So let's update that as well. And yeah, the dashboard really shows a summary of the information, what's happening here in the project, while everybody is working at the same time in their different documents, and they can collaborate through the tool. For example, if you go back to the My Polarium page, I can see all the requirements that I actually marked from my document now here, and the stage of where they are. So these are still in analysis phase. I need to do something about them, maybe a bit later. But interestingly, here is one requirement awaiting for my review. So someone else apparently has created this kind of review or approval request for me. So if I open that from this tab here, or this link here, I can see that Sami has processed something, and he has put some internal comments here, internal notes, that then I can say that, okay, well, I can say that this is approved. Yeah. Not really, or actually don't need to change that comment. I can also comment here that like this, and I can then do, for example, Sami's part, and also already get this to the next phase of the process, like that. So again, we did this completely without any emails or whatever, just very simple collaboration over the tool. So now when we look at the homepage of this project again, now it's time to put the hat of the sales manager on my head and see what happens in the next stage, where these requirements are communicated to the customer. So we see that there are quite a lot of them already are in this phase. So there are 7 requirements here. So I can click on this link and see all of them and review whether they are really such that I would like to take them to the customer. So I can do it, for example, here in this kind of a list view, or of course I can go to individual documents as well and see the document context and think that, okay, is our statement final, etc. Now for the to make this a bit quicker, I will just bulk edit all of these real quick, select all of these 7 items here, and make them to go to customer feedback, which is the next stage of the process. And once having done that, at the same time, I can also do the next thing, which could be done by the Prohoc experts or someone else, some other person. But the thing is that for the customer communication, we can export them to a simple Excel sheet, which has been a template for that exists already, and to look what it looks like, how it opened up here in this other screen. So let's take it back from there. And we see that all 7 requirements are here in the Excel sheet. And they automatically received an identification number from the system. They also have a automatic reference to the customer document section number. Even the section heading is there. It's all processed automatically, and the section of the customer requirement and our classification, whether it's a deviation or clarification, and then there is a place for the customer to enter their statement. For example, they say that, yeah, to be named blah blah blah. So you basically surely understand what's going on here. So I will not complete this phase anymore, but to jump back to the Polarion and as to summarize quickly, what we saw here is that instead of having a kind of a distributed and uncontrolled process for going through a complex tender like this, it's of course a no-brainer that is much more efficient to do it here, where all the information is in the same place. We can refine other items from these, or tasks or risks, and we get to see the whole status of the process in real time. And yeah, without any further ado, I would like to complete the demonstration and leave some time for the summary.